I'm really sorry to do this, but today is going to be another video where I'm going to be kind of acknowledging all of the controversial stuff that I've had happen in the past and just criticism and basically just drama that I've noticed on my channel, because this is just coming up more and more and more, and you guys know that I don't want to ignore it whatsoever. So I just want to bring every single thing to light today and acknowledge all of it. I feel like the pet community is such a wonderful place, and I wanted to be here and create this YouTube channel because I feel like I do take really great care of my animals. They're all very healthy and happy, and because of that, I just wanted to share my love and knowledge about these animals with other people as well, just because I know that there is a lot of misinformation out there. That being said, I'm still new to this and I'm not perfect. I'm not an expert. I'm not a professional. I don't want anyone to ever think that they can just only watch my videos and rely on that for their research, because you should absolutely be doing way more research for yourself, and not everything that I do is going to be the best thing to do. You should always make that decision for yourself after you've done a lot of research. I try out new things on this channel all the time, like my gecko condominium. That's not something that I was just like promoting for people to do. It's just something that was completely new for me, that I was trying out, that I wanted to see if I would like it or not. That being said, I am aware that there are going to be people watching my videos and watching my influence and wanting to do things that I'm doing, and I need to be very, very careful with the things that I'm putting out there. So I was recently talking with somebody who said that they talked on a group or something, whether it was on Facebook or I don't know where it was, but he basically said that people were saying that I don't like to take advice from others, and I personally think that that's false. I've always encouraged you guys to let me know what you think. I'm very open to new ideas and advice and helping my animals in any way that I possibly can, because I don't think that every single thing that I do is perfect. I'm still learning, and I feel like we're all in this together. But some people watch my channel and they think that I know everything and that I'm trying to teach others to do exactly as I'm doing, and that's never been the case. So that being said, I do want to make it aware that I am very open to hearing your guys' thoughts and opinions and your criticisms, as long as it's done in a respectful way, because that's a whole other issue I feel like on YouTube. There are a lot of people that just don't approach me in a very respectful manner, and they kind of do very bold claims saying that I'm spreading false information when that's not always necessarily the case. Or they just don't have all the information, and rather than respectfully asking me why I choose to do something a certain way, they just accuse me and blame me and make me out to be some bad person that's trying to spread false information that just simply doesn't do research, and that's never the case. I am not perfect. I do not know everything. I'm just trying to do my best here, and I want this to be a very helpful community, but I don't want to rant this entire time. I'm really sorry I keep doing this. But I do want to give you guys a chance. So if you do find anything wrong with my animals or my care, please feel free to leave a comment and let me know what you think that I can improve on, because I'm all ears. I do want to make changes. I have so many plans for all of my animals. That's why I'm not doing an updated reptile room tour, because I have so many things that I want to do still, and I want to upgrade 1 million enclosures in here. So I'm not perfect. This is all not perfect right now, and I understand that. So if you have a suggestion, don't feel bad. Don't feel like you're going to be mean for suggesting something to me. It's basically just going to help me out, so I would really appreciate it if you would say something. So I made a post on Instagram, and I asked people to basically just come out and let me know what they think about my animals, my enclosures, things that I can improve on, because I want to address all of it today, and I'm going to be addressing a lot of the concerns that I've heard in the past, because I want to just address all of the drama that I've heard, so that way we can all just move on from it. So a lot of people were very upset with the gecko condominium that I recently did, and somebody left a comment and they were upset that I did this gecko condominium and I made a video about it, and then I never addressed that it's not good for certain types of animals, and then I ended up rehoming animals because of it. So some of this is actually just not the correct information. Actually, I created this gecko condominium, and during my video I even mentioned that it would be great for African fat-tail geckos, and I stand by that. I also think it would be great for Pac-Man frogs. I don't think that it's the best for leopard geckos, and I said that in my video. I do have a small leopard gecko in there which works temporarily, but in the future they should be upgraded because leopard geckos do get bigger than African fat tails, so I think that they need more space. So I wouldn't recommend a gecko condominium of this size in particular. If you can find a larger one with more floor space, then it could be suitable for an adult leopard gecko. However, mine just is not like that, and I'm downsizing for other reasons, and it's not because of this gecko condominium whatsoever. So I hope that that addresses your concerns about that. Again, this is something that's completely new. It's something that I was just trying out to see if I would like it or not. It's not something that I've done a million times and I'm like, hey, you guys should all go do this. It's literally something that I just tried. That's it. And I do like how it's working out. I just don't think that it's for all types of reptiles. It's for a very small amount of reptiles like the African fat tails or possibly some smaller amphibians. So something else that I've been hearing a lot about is actually Banba, my veiled chameleon. A lot of people are concerned that Banba has stuck shed on him. And Banba always has like tiny little pieces that are stuck on him, and literally the only way that I could properly get that off would be to soak him under warm water. And I have had people attack me like crazy when I tried to give him a bath one time. I did it in the sink. He was stressed out, he didn't like it, so I never did it again. But that's literally the only way that I can try and work off those tiny little pieces of stuck shed. They aren't really that big of a deal. They will come off eventually in time, but it's quicker if I were to just soak him under warm water. But because it stresses him out, I just decided not to do that anymore. However, people are still very upset that he sometimes has little pieces of stuck shed on him. It's not something that's bothering him whatsoever. He's still very healthy. It is very dry in here. I missed down his enclosure. I'm planning to redo his entire enclosure this summer, and I want to put live plants back in there because he hasn't had them in so long, and it just looks better and it'll just fill out the enclosure better. That's something else that people are concerned about. I'm not really sure what else I can do about that situation right now. If you guys have helpful hints, I'm open to hearing it, but I don't want to stress Banba out and give him another bath again because obviously he didn't like that, so I'm trying to avoid that. The pieces of shed do come off eventually, but like every now and then you'll see a picture of him, and yes, he does have a tiny little piece of skin on him. I don't know why that bothers people so much, but like people key in on that and it really upsets them, so I'm really sorry that upsets you so much. But I mean, he is my animal and I don't want to stress him out by soaking him, and my husbandry I think is perfectly on point. He has enough space, he has enough foliage. People always just recommend more foliage, but I mean, he has enough foliage and I'm going to be adding more, so I don't know what else I could do relating to the shedding issue. He does get all of his shed off. He literally just has tiny little specks. I'll show you right now what I'm talking about. So as you can see, Banba has these tiny little pieces of skin. It's kind of like the little white parts along his back. It looks like he has a little piece on his cheek too. This is the skin that I'm talking about that people get very upset about. It's just very stubborn and hard to get this skin off. And again, the only way that I was able to get it off quickly was to soak him in some warm water, which he absolutely hated and it stressed him out. So eventually it comes off on its own, but I've been avoiding doing that just because I don't want to stress him out, and I kind of just wait it out and let it come off on its own. But this is what I'm talking about, so I just wanted to like point it out so that way you guys can see it a little better. So another thing that was brought up was basically my last video where I just showed Meet Banba and everything. I put a clip at the very end of that video where I gave Banba a bath. Basically, and that sounds weird, but basically giving a chameleon a bath was me putting him under the sink drain with warm water and just trying to work off any of the extra shed that he had on his body that wasn't coming off, because every now and then, all the time, especially in the winter, he has like tiny little pieces of skin that are just very stubborn, and it's hard for them to come off and it takes a lot of time. So rather than sitting and waiting around for the little tiny pieces of shed to come off, I would try and soak him in the warm water and work it off myself. By doing that, it was very stressful for Banba, and he did not like it whatsoever. He kept trying to grab the water, which a lot of people do think is adorable. However, that's really stressful for a chameleon, and you can see them. Like, I felt really bad for Banba. He kept grabbing it, and he wasn't grabbing anything because it was water coming down. So I just chose to not put him through that again. And I posted that video, and people will probably see that, think it's cute, and then they're going to want to do that with their chameleon. So by no way do I want people to go off of that video and get inspired to try that with their chameleon, because it is very stressful for them, and it's not something that I would recommend. It's something that I tried out once and I ended up not liking it. So I hope that me posting it in that video didn't come off in a wrong way whatsoever to make other people think that they should do it. So I did want to make this video because someone reached out to me saying, like, I shouldn't have done that then, because I'm kind of encouraging that type of a behavior, and that's not something that I want to do, because it's just going to stress people's chameleons out, and I don't want that to happen. So I am still new to this whole YouTube thing. I need to be more aware of what I'm putting out there. I need to put more disclaimers and mention reasons why I do things, because you guys may see me doing one thing and think that I do that all the time, but that's not necessarily the case, because like with that bath, I did that one time and I decided I didn't like it and I didn't do it again. So that kind of stuff happens all of the time, and without me coming out and saying so, you guys aren't going to know any better. So I need to do a better job vocalizing my thoughts and opinions on things and why I do things, and if I did something and it didn't work out, I need to say something. So I apologize for putting that in the last video and kind of not saying anything about it. It's not something that I wanted to put out there. And I do appreciate you reaching out to me and letting me know that, because I need to be more aware of what I'm doing and the type of message that I'm putting out to the people watching my videos. A lot of people are very concerned about Dude here. So Dude has very, very big eyes, and this is something that concerns a lot of people. So as you can see, like, he does have very big eyes. He's been like this since he was a baby. He's always had kind of bulgy looking eyes. People are very worried that it means he has metabolic bone disease or something. They also say they think he has a weird back. I've heard that a couple of times. I don't know why people think he has a weird back. He literally stands up on all fours, like completely up, and that's how he usually eats. He's very strong. He's very alert. He loves to eat. I think he's very, very healthy lizard in my opinion. But yeah, he does have very big eyes, and that's just how he looks. I do know someone else, Jessica's Animal Friends. You guys should check out her channel as well. She has a bearded dragon named Franklin, and he also has eyes just like Dude. So we're pretty sure it's just like a genetic thing with some bearded dragons. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about it. It's just how Dude is, and there's nothing wrong with him. He just has some big eyes. So just wanted to put that out there, because a lot of people are always very worried about him when they see his eyes. Another thing that I've heard is that my crested and gargoyle enclosures are too small. So my cresties and gargoyles are all in 12 by 12 by 18s, which is the minimum for those gecko species. I personally have come to the conclusion that I don't think that it is a sufficient amount of space for them, which is why I'm downsizing, because I plan to upgrade all of them. So I do agree. I am taking your advice, because I completely agree. But recently I upgraded my other crested gecko, Oakley, into an 18 by 18 by 24. And somebody was concerned that that still wasn't large enough because it has one door instead of two. So I'm going to show you guys this really quick. So this right here is Oakley's enclosure. This is an 18 by 18 by 24, which is the same exact size as this one. This one does have two doors because it was made by Exoterra. And then this one over here that has one door was made by Zoomed. So it just has one door compared to two doors, but they're still the exact same size. And this is an adequate size, I think, for an adult crested gecko. She has so much space in here. So I prefer this rather than a 12 by 12 by 18, which is what I have all along there. I'm sorry, but I had to put Dude back because, as you can see, like, he's just scratching up my neck and it's not a good time over here. So I'm gonna move on to the next topic, and that was Metamora's enclosure. So Metamora is in that 18 by 18 by 24 enclosure. And a lot of people are concerned that that is not going to be adequate for when she is an adult and they want me to upgrade her. Right now, I think that it's perfect for her and I think she has enough space in there. But I'm going to give it time and I'm going to see, because I do have friends that said that an 18 by 18 by 24 works out great for adults as well. So I'm going to see for myself. I do know that they do move around a lot at nighttime, so I will want to make sure that she has enough space to be able to move around everywhere. So I'm just going to see how I like it in time and as she grows and see how big she gets, and then I'm going to make that decision for myself and for her. But for right now, I think that she's perfect in that enclosure, and I think that she just has so much space and it's working out wonderfully. Another concern that I've heard is about Bowie's enclosure. People just don't think that it's very decorated and it doesn't look that great. And you know what? I completely agree. I think that it's very boring and very standard looking. And that's one of the enclosures this summer that I just want to completely redo and decorate. And I'm planning to decorate the hides and everything as well, because I want something that's interesting to look at, that's going to give my animal way more enrichment as well. So completely agree with you guys, and I'm going to be making that change. And another concern that I heard, this was like one of the first ones when I started my channel last April. A lot of people were yelling at me and very, very upset with me because Kiwi, my leopard gecko, had a very skinny tail. So I'm going to go ahead and get Kiwi for you guys now. So here is Kiwi. A lot of people were very concerned that Kiwi had a very skinny tail, and Kiwi had a very skinny tail because Kiwi was a baby at that point. So people, instead of asking me how old Kiwi was or anything, or saying hey, I think his tail's looking a little skinny, people were literally telling me I'm an animal abuser because of this. He was just a baby. Babies have skinny tails. As you can see, he has definitely gotten a thicker tail. He's way bigger now. He's grown so much. So that's just something that people were concerned about, and there you go. There's his chubby little tail for you. Somebody suggested on Instagram that I go bioactive for Mango and Dude. So I actually would be interested in going bioactive for Mango, but I'm kind of leaning towards maybe not, because I put Mango on a bioactive substrate temporarily and she did not like it. She would not eat on it whatsoever. She eats perfectly fine on paper towel, but she won't eat on substrate. So that would be the one reason that I just don't go bioactive for her, as much as I love how it looks, because I just saw Emma Sampson just post a picture of her African fat tail gecko's bioactive enclosure, and it was so gorgeous and I absolutely love it. I would love to do that for Mango one day, but I simply don't think that she's gonna eat on that substrate, which is just really unfortunate. So that would be the one reason that I don't go bioactive for Mango. And as for going bioactive with Dude, that's something that I don't think I'll do. I've looked into it in the past and it simply just looks so complicated, and I just am terrified that I would mess it up somehow or that he would get impacted. I'm just so terrified about impaction, so I personally just choose to avoid that at all costs. Bioactive, I think, works out great for snakes, but when it comes to lizards and my preference, I just get very nervous about impaction, because I've seen my animals hunt on the dirt all the time and get mouthfuls of dirt, and it's not something I want to deal with. I'm pretty sure that that's how my Leachianus gecko died, because when I found her, she just had a mouthful of dirt and she was on the floor. So I'm kind of scarred from that experience, and that's something that I would like to avoid. So I hope that that doesn't let anyone down, but you have to realize at the end of the day that these are my animals, and for safety reasons or whatever it may be, I'm going to make a decision that I hope that you guys can respect. And if you don't agree with it, then don't do that for your animals. And I'm not saying that what I'm doing is what everyone else has to be doing either, because it's just my decision, and I'm saying that you can do it this way or you can do it another way, but I want everyone to do their own research and make their own decisions always. Somebody was concerned that because of the amount of animals that I have, that maybe I could possibly forget about an animal and not take proper care of it. This is something that I haven't had an issue with. I check on all of my animals like throughout the day, all day. I have them like all around this room, as you can see, and I kind of just have my own little routine of doing things to make sure that every animal is getting the care that it needs every single day. Somebody wants to know why I use fake plants in a lot of my enclosures, and I simply just don't have the money to be buying a ton of plants, and I don't have lighting for all of my enclosures. So like a lot of my geckos, I don't have any lighting on them whatsoever because one, it can stress them out, and two, and I have all of those enclosures up very high and I don't want any cords coming down, so that's why I'm not going bioactive for all of my geckos. I used to be bioactive for all of them and have live plants, but now that I have more animals and I moved, it's just not a possibility right now. So I just like to use the fake plants mainly for convenience and just because I don't have the lighting required in order to keep those plants alive. People insult me all the time because of that, and they're like, you're called Reptilian Garden, yet you use fake plants and stuff. And it's so funny, I don't have a garden. Like, I literally created the name Reptilian Garden as a joke, basically, because every single time that I would take a picture of my animals, I would be doing it in front of a plant because I just liked the way that it looked, and my boyfriend would always make fun of me for it. So I was just coming up with a new random Instagram name, and I just thought, okay, Reptilian Garden, since it's always a reptile and a plant. So that's literally the inspiration for the whole Reptilian Garden channel and everything. It just started off as a joke, but now people criticize me for it and take it very seriously and insult me for not having live plants. And I'm sorry, but like, it's just not something that is affordable for me right now or just gonna work. Eventually when I move, I would love to be able to set up bioactive and everything, but it's just not happening right now. Somebody was upset because I keep dude in a 40-gallon enclosure, which is the minimum. If you look it up on Google, most of the time you'll see a 40-gallon as the minimum, but now I'm seeing that the minimum size is increasing on certain websites. I've always heard that a 40-gallon is a minimum for bearded dragons, and personally, I just think that my 40-gallon is sufficient for dude. He doesn't seem to be lacking space whatsoever, and he has plenty of space to roam around and do whatever he wants to do. And normally, he's not really doing that much anyway, so I really don't think he would utilize the space even if I did upgrade him, so that's just why I choose not to. Some people get upset because I choose to feed my veiled chameleons some vegetation and leafy greens. They are insectivores, however, they are known to eat vegetation in the wild. You can look that up anywhere online. So because of that, I find that it just gives them added hydration and nutrients in their diet, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So that's just something that I choose to do for my chameleon. Some people don't like the fact that I use bins. I do use bins for my breeder female crested geckos. I do that because it's a matter of space. They get way more space in the tub. I would prefer to look at them, which is why I just upgraded Oakley. Because for me, obviously viewing them is way better and I can't really see them through a tub. But honestly, for them, when it comes to a tub, it's giving them more space, and I'm still giving them all the things that they need in order to feel secure and have all of their needs met within that tub. So it's just something that's functional that works out best for me. If I had a ton more money and space, they would definitely all be in naturalistic, beautiful looking glass enclosures, which is my goal one day. Hopefully I'll be on that level eventually. Right now I keep my White's tree frog in a tub container because it keeps that humidity in. The suggestion that I received said that they're temperate and they don't really require extremely high humidity, and that I should instead do a screen enclosure and that they do benefit from UVB. This is something that I would like to look into because, I don't know, I think it could benefit my frog and it would be great to have live plants for him. So eventually I think it would be a good idea to give him a bioactive live planted enclosure with some UVB. So I'll definitely consider that because that sounds like a great idea. So I just wanted to get all of this out in the open and just talk about all of this and bring up every single thing that I've heard that I can remember at least, because I just want to move forward from all of this, and it's just kind of annoying when I'm trying to continue my channel and I constantly have people just like throwing this stuff out there at me, and it's stressful for me, and I'm still learning this whole thing. I'm not used to people looking at every single thing I'm doing, and I realize like I'm talking to a camera right now, But I need to realize, like, I'm talking to you guys. I'm talking to people. I'm talking to people that aren't responding back to me, that are just influenced by what I'm saying and doing, and I need to be more responsible with what I'm putting out there. So I really do apologize if I have let any of you guys down and you thought that I was spreading false information, because that's not something that I want to do ever. That's the whole reason I started this channel, was to spread true information, because I know all the misinformation that's out there and it can be so difficult when you're researching. So if you guys do have any other concerns about my animals or my care, please just tell me. I want to hear it. I want to improve, and I want to move forward for my animals and with you guys. I just want us all to be in on this as a team. I don't want you guys ever thinking that I'm an expert or a professional and that everything that I say is like the Bible and you need to do what I say, because that's not the case. I just want you guys to watch my videos, be entertained, maybe throw out some helpful hints or advice, maybe learn something every now and then, and that's pretty much it. I still want you guys to be able to make your own decisions based off of the things that you've seen me doing. So I'm sorry if this came off extremely ranty and like crazy, because I know I'm throwing a lot out there, and it's just because I've been receiving a lot of it. So I don't want this to be some like huge dramatic channel, and I'm really sorry if it's coming off that way lately, because that's not what I intend it to be whatsoever. So thank you guys so much for supporting me. I really do appreciate it. It means everything to me. It's so nice reading all of the nice, sweet comments, and I really do encourage the people that are reaching out and being so kind and helpful and giving me advice, because I really do appreciate it, and so do my animals. So I will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully it won't be crazy like this and ranty. It'll be way more chill. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.